live, laugh.
How's it going, everybody? We are joined by OMG James Ryan. Question for you: what does the OMG stand for?
Originality manifested from greatness.
Okay, I like it.
I laughed because I thought it was just gonna be like, oh my god, it's James Ryan.
Yeah.
But that's great.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See that, Drew Hood? You could have you can get it done in 3 letters, not 5. So
Correct. You can.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Before we get started, where can everybody find you? Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
You can find me every Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. to whenever I get the fuck off on Twitch/OhMyGames. That is O with 3 H's. On Twitter, you can find me at OMG_James Ryan. And then on Facebook, you can find me at OMG James Ryan. Then on Instagram, I think that's the only one that's different. I think that's James Ryan Pro, I believe.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm shitty with my own social media account.
No,
you're good. I don't even pretend to remember ours. I always rely on him for that, so I get it.
Yeah, awesome. So, what kind of stuff are you streaming?
I stream a lot of first-person shooters. I grew up playing a lot of Call of Duty with my brothers. I'm the oldest out of 5. So we all, my parents couldn't afford to get everybody a system, but we at least had one for the brothers or one for the kids, you know? So, dude, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, 4, etc., all the way down. So, yeah, it's a lot of Warzone, Rocket League, Fortnite, stuff like that. Just really whatever I'm vibing and feeling with. Hell, the past couple of days we've been streaming some golf, so it's whatever I'm vibing with that day.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2, my childhood and the best game.
Yeah.
So
dude, Black Ops 2 and 3, brother, hold Modern Warfare 2 pretty close. Like, don't get me wrong, we like had Rust and everything like that.
Yeah.
The P90 and the Peacekeepers are still like top 2 best guns Modern Warfare ever created. But dude, Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3, especially in Black Ops 3 when they got to like I guess you would call it like an exoskeleton or exosuit where you can jump, double shoot with like a jetpack on and still shoot in the air. That, man, I wish Warzone now would get to that, let alone like less of the real life of like what combat and everything really is in war, and go more towards of like, hey, this is a video game that simulates war. You know what I'm saying? We can add crazy, stupid things to it and still be fun.
Yeah, of course. You ever a big Halo guy? It sounds like you might have been at PlayStation.
Oh, nah, dude. All due respect, fuck Microsoft. Like, I'm a Sony guy through and through. Always will be. The first thing I ever picked up was a Nintendo 64. Right after that was that PlayStation 1. And I've been hook, line, and sinker ever since.
Gotcha. There's nothing wrong about that. PS2, probably one of like the most important like systems
I'd say so.
ever. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
For sure.
It gave me SmackDown versus Raw 1, brother. Like, that's all. Yeah. Gave me bread and butter.
SmackDown versus Raw 2008 is actually how I was introduced to wrestling. Like, that's how I learned it. That's like was my starting point. So the Undertaker was crazy to me. And which
like
is
crazy as in what?
Like the idea that only thing I knew about him was from commentary. So like I'm like, is he really dead? What? Like I didn't know this was like I didn't know anything. So which is probably a good segue that this is sometimes a wrestling podcast. And I guess the question is, what's your earliest memory of wrestling?
Hold on. Okay, so 2 things come to mind. I used to live across the street from my childhood friend. We're still friends today. We met in this fall of 2001, I believe. And the first thing that he gave me was a Best of Raw Volume 1. And in that Best of Raw, like it was, of course it had Austin, Taker, and Kane, but it had Foley coming off of the cell. Then it had the Headbangers on the cover of it. I'm trying to remember like the VHS tape itself. Yeah. But my earliest memory was when getting introduced to it. Once again, this is The Undertaker. We're watching it, and it's when Kane and Undertaker are doing their rivalry leading up to Mania. And Kane's walking towards the Undertaker while Taker's in the ring, and then Taker shoots his arms up. And when he pause, reverse that. It's Kane in the middle of the ring, and then it's Undertaker walking towards him down the ramp. And I remember Kane shot his hands up, and the fireballs went off. And you hear Paul Bearer, oh, yes. And Undertaker said one of the most damnedest lines to me. He said, Kane, I will walk through the burning fires of hell to get to you. And as a kid, dude, I'm like 6 years old, bro. I got to cut the light on. I got to open the doors. I got to call some people in the room. Like, dude, I was so scared and actually like frightened because once again, I'm like, dude, is this guy really dead? And did Kane really kill all of his brothers in that fire? Like, is that really what happened? So, yeah, man, that one. And then my second one was the 3 stages of hell. Between Austin and Triple H, where they do the sledgehammer and the 2x4 meet in the middle. And then I believe it's Triple H covers Austin. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great place to start. I was also afraid of The Undertaker. I think anybody that starts watching wrestling when The Undertaker is around, like this is probably the 8th time I've said it, but I had dreams that The Undertaker, that I would have to wrestle him as a kid. They were nightmares, and I was just fleeing the country as a middle schooler. So I definitely get that. The Undertaker is...
You're like fucking 8 years old trying to catch a flight to Indonesia or something.
Yeah,
you're just like, get me the fuck out of here.
I remember at one point I was like hanging from the scoreboard, like trying to like get my way out of the building. Like it was legit, like terrifying. Like not the fact that he was dead, but the fact that I was gonna have to wrestle him. Like,
yeah. Oh, brother, if Teddy Long came out and told you that, you had no choice.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Teddy Long was in the dream for sure. That was like the prime time for me. I feel like everybody has a different Undertaker. Like everybody has the Undertaker moment, whether it's like back in the day when he was wearing his like suit or like badass Taker, although a lot less of those we've found. But yeah, Undertaker, I think, is like a one constant, like almost throughout all of wrestling.
And also his stuff with Randy Orton. I was really young and like really just getting hooked into what a storyline was and them taking me on that ride. So, dude, like when Orton on SmackDown is standing in the bathroom and he's washing his face off and he's trying to just get his composure together, right? Dude, I'm getting fucking chills right now thinking about it. And he's trying to get his composure and he looks up and it's Taker in the back left corner of his head, right? In the mirror, he turns around, there's nobody there. Opens up the casket, it's Bob Orton laying there type stuff. Dude, Undertaker to me was like one of the best. Just because, like, as a kid, you get so fascinated and hooked into what the character was and how crazy and outlandish he is. Yeah, awesome. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, for sure. Longest entrance, maybe kind of Moxley might be trying to take that from him, but it's always worth it. So the Undertaker you latched on to. Who were some other like wrestlers at that time that you kind of like were attracted to?
AJ Styles is my favorite of all time. He is my absolute favorite because back in the day, like you can hear it now. I'm from the South, like the deep South, from Julian, North Carolina. I guarantee you never heard of it. And back then, like I was a small, scrawny ass kid, still scrawny now, but you know what I'm saying? I'm 6'6", but back then, I don't know why I just related to him so much, but he would do the leapfrog into the drop down, into the drop kick with a big, big fire up. And I remember just looking at my friend Matt, who pretty much introduced me to all this. And I was like, yo, he's the damn man. Like, don't get me wrong. He's out here wrestling Jerry Lynn on a Wednesday. And I just mowed 4 yards of grass to pay the $10.99, whatever it was, to pay my parents to buy it. Right. And he was, I don't want to say a nobody at the time, but he was growing. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't the top guy in NWA TNA at the time, but man, AJ, without a doubt, you're the GOAT. If you ever listen to this, AJ, you're the GOAT. There's 1A, 1B, and 1C. You're 1A. Flair's 1B. Michaels is 1C. Those are the 3.
The top 3 for you. That's a pretty good top 3. Definitely, I would say we could kind of skip ahead, but it like reflects on like your style in the ring now, like kind of the way, or at least with Michaels, I would say there's a little bit of like the showmanship.
Yeah, a lot with how I sell. for sure. But work rate wise, truth be told, is a lot of Flair and a lot of Dusty.
Yeah.
I don't watch anything new at all. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll still catch up with, like, if I want to watch a promo or if I want to watch, I know it's going to be like a good talking segment on a television show, I'll watch it. But for the most part, like Flair and Dusty, those old Crockett days, like 77 through 84, 85 is what I try to study the most. Sean, definitely with like my entrance and the way that I sell and the way that I choose to sell. Ric Flair on the way that I like, the way that I work, the way that I like to talk to the crowd.
Yeah.
AJ is that Southern draw and that Southern fire. It's just in us, you know what I mean? We're from this part of the world. It's never going to leave us. And
Awesome. So at what point in your kind of journey did you decide that you wanted to be a wrestler? Was that kind of always in your mind?
Nope. It wasn't in my mind until the day that me and my brother Matt decided that we wanted to try to do it. How deep do y'all want to get?
Yeah, as deep as you want. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm pretty open about it and I don't really care. Well, I mean, I care, but I'm really open about it because like I'm past it and I'm never going to get to it. So 2013, 2014, I started working at a hookah bar, hanging out in a lot of places that I wasn't supposed to be, etc. Got really hooked on fucking pills, like doing a lot of like just dumb shit. Tried to pull the plug a couple times, if you follow my drift. God kept me here for whatever reason. I don't truthfully know yet, but one day, I haven't been able to tell him this shit either, but one day I was watching Dax Harwood on NXT, and I forgot who the fuck they were wrestling, but it was so simple and so stupid. But at the time, Ricochet and Will Ospreay and everybody's flying off the cuff, and you know what I mean, the high flying, no selling style, I like to call it, is really starting to make its way into professional wrestling. And I remember just looking at Matt when we were watching the Revival, and I was like, I really like these guys. Truthfully, this is the truth. And we were just so fucked up on pills. Like I was, at least he wasn't, but I was. And I was just so obliterated out of my mind. And I remember just telling him, I was like, dude, if we really tried, we could fucking do this. Like if these Southern motherfuckers can do it, we can do it. Like just putting it out there like that. Like these ain't Vince's guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is not something that he's going to be pushing at the time. That's how I'm thinking, because we're so like utilized and used to that WWE style that they're not going to use the Southern talkers, the short, chunkier guys anyway. But it was Dax Harwood. They worked the leg. He came off the top. He was in an Indian Deathlock or a figure four, and then Dax came off the top, dropped the knee on someone's leg. I'm sorry if whoever I'm talking about, I don't remember who you are, but and I just looked at him. I said, we could do it. And then we Googled North Carolina independent wrestling schools is what we Googled. And what came up was LeBron Cozone. Which side am I on that one? Which was Firestar. Wasn't even Firestar yet. It was just LeBron Cozone training school. And he was about 1.5 miles away. I hit him up on Twitter, which I still have the tweets. I still have the DMs. Hit him up on Twitter, and then I started within a couple months later, like a month later, I think.
Awesome.
I hit him up in July. I started in August, I think it was.
So before that, like there wasn't like a part of you as a kid that just like, oh, I want to be a wrestler when I grow up?
Nope. It was something that I really enjoyed. But I was a baseball kid and an amateur wrestler. So like my whole thought when I was growing up was like, don't get me wrong, Kurt Angle went and did this, Dan Severn went and did it, but it wasn't something that I was looking forward to doing at that time. To be honest, I was trying to get into fighting. Yeah. But I couldn't make those weight cuts whatsoever that they wanted me to make. And I couldn't build on the mass because of my metabolism to actually grow the size that I needed to. So I was kind of stuck, truthfully. Like I didn't have anywhere to go. Like baseball kind of fallen by the wayside because UNCG dropped amateur wrestling and scholarships for that because of the Olympics at the time. They dropped it for rugby. That's a shoot. So yeah, dude, like I was literally stuck in the middle working at a restaurant that I fucking hated. and yeah, found Kozone.
What was that first day like for you? Like when you walk into the doors?
Hell. Let me say it loud again. Hell. It was absolute hell. We were in the backyard of our buddy Petey Bang's house, right? And we walk in the backyard. There's the ring. There's a bunch of guys in the ring, right? And really didn't do much. We took a few bumps, you know what I'm saying? But the first day that we used to do back in the day was called Chop Day. And that was to see if you really wanted to fucking be here. Because if you can't take the chop from these gentlemen that are going to be standing across from you that call themselves your brothers, then you're not going to be able to take something from a random jabron in Saskatchewan. Right. Yeah. So my first day at 158 pounds was Chop Day. And they busted my chest up like hamburger meat, man. And it hurt so fucking bad. And back then, Kozone, he was stiff. I love him, so I can say that. He was really stiff, and he beat the damn shit out of me. And it was hell. But I remember looking at Matt, and Matt was like, I'm not going back. I was like, well, if you're not, I am. And he was like, all right, another week. And then another week went by, and he stopped coming. But you know what I'm saying? I kept coming back.
Yeah.
And then we changed it and formed it to what it is today.
What do you think made you come back? Because it's like, this isn't a dream that you had. This is like kind of, I wouldn't say a whim, but this is definitely
something that just clicked in a moment.
So why did you come back?
I'm gonna have to just say my faith and my belief in God, because I prayed for all this. You know what I'm saying? I prayed for I didn't pray for what I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I needed. You know what I'm saying? I was 19. I'm a child, still living in my parents' house. So I didn't know. I just prayed for a purpose and a reasoning for still being alive, because I tried to pull the plug 3 times and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Really 2, but still all that didn't work. Why am I still here? What am I doing? And something told me to go back. And then keep going back, and then keep going back. And now I sit back here almost a decade later. I've spent a quarter of my life inside this profession, inside of this, you know what I'm saying, inside of this school, underneath this teaching. Dude, I still can't answer it truthfully. I don't know why. I really don't, other than that I prayed for a purpose and a reasoning, and something told me to go back.
That's amazing. So after that first day, kind of talk us through training, how much training are we doing before we're doing our first match, and just kind of talk us through all that if you can.
Okay, so I caught on very quickly. So I had my first match within 2 months against RIP OG, Scrapyard Dog. And but dude, after that, it was every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And me and Kozone literally spent every day of the week together till about 3 in the morning. Like I said, I was still living at home, so I didn't really have no responsibilities.
Yeah.
Except for my phone bill and my car payment, but I could make that just doing side work and everything. So yeah, it was me, Kozone, and another guy named Cam Carter. Cam Carter's the first guy. He's not around anymore. You said what you said, but he gave me my first bump, literally from a back elbow. You know what I'm saying? So it was us 3 there, and it went from headlock takeovers to tackle drop down leapfrog to Kozone wants to try this at his match coming up this week. So take this superplex real quick. And so dude, it was just a barrage of everything. But what a lot of guys don't understand is we're technically self-taught. Like that first, me, Kozone, and Cam Carter, we were technically self-taught. We would go sit in sheets. And at the time, I was really trying to gain a lot of weight. So I'm eating these cheap sandwiches and just packing them full of carbs as much as I can. Yeah. And we would sit in sheets, and we would watch 3.5, 4-hour Zack Sabre Jr. seminars. Or we would watch 3-hour Manny Fernandez seminars or Kevin Nash seminars. Or think of a top worker that has a free seminar on YouTube, and we've probably watched it countless times, to the point that we would take it on slow motion so we could get each part of a movement of a reverse wrist lock or a hammer lock. Some of the easiest, most basic things of pro wrestling, we were really breaking down and trying to study the proper way of doing it, because nobody was really teaching us, and we couldn't afford to go to one of these big schools, or we couldn't afford to go learn from George and Charlotte, you know what I mean? Just stuff like that. So yeah, we were self-taught, and we would watch these seminars over and over and over again, and then go to the ring and try to do the same thing, learn it, go try it out in the matches later that next week.
That's interesting, because like when you think of LeBron Cozone, you think of like master of all trades, the guy that's like constantly putting out everything. But then to go back and to see like he has a story just like everybody else does, where you guys are sitting in the sheets trying to figure this out. So like everybody has to start somewhere, kind of like, so that's really cool to see. At what point does that kind of turn into Firestar? Like, at what point you guys kind of, where does it take the leap for you guys, or is that a separate journey from you and Cozone to where you kind of like start to solidify that? I don't know if that makes sense. I kind of just said a lot of things.
No, it does. I'm just trying to make sure that I word it correctly out of respect for my brother, because I don't want to take credit that I'm undeserved of.
Yeah.
Man, so we went from Petey Bangs' house. I have to take you like this because I'm very ADHD, and my brain does not work normally. But we go from Petey Bangs' house, which was, like I said, 4 miles from my mom's house. I ran there every day, by the way, to and from.
Yeah.
Then we moved to Reidsville, North Carolina, which was out there in the damn sticks. And around that time, it was literally just me and him, because it's 17 degrees outside. The mat is completely frozen, and we're still trying to go out here and bump, right? Like, it's just me and him. Like, nobody else would drive that far, show up, try to work, do any of that. So it was literally just me and him from that point. And then he finds this building, this warehouse building on Medley Street in downtown Greensboro. And we were technically not supposed to run shows, but we told them that it was just a housing facility for the ring. And so they agreed to sign us for our lease for that. And we started training from there. And it was in that point, it was in January. It was January 11th. I wish I remember the year. I just remember the day. But it was January 11th when me and him both went in there and looked at the first, like, inkling of what Medley Street was about to become for a little bit. And his biggest thing, a lot of people don't know this, but his biggest thing is that when you Google Firestar Pro Wrestling, he wants an exact location to pop up, because back in the day we had CWF Sportatorium. And when you look, and I'm pretty sure if you Google it now, it's probably still the same thing, but when you Googled CWF Sportatorium, the exact location of that building popped up in your Google map. And he wanted that. And he felt that until we have like a solid spot that we can call home, we really can't build off of it, because we're really traveling. You know what I'm saying? We're pretty much couch hopping in backyards at the time. So January 11th of that year, whenever we finally got the okay for the building, that's when all that really started to grow into what it is today. But at that time, it was still only me, Cozone, and Cam Carter. That was it.
Yeah. At what point do you start to like add people into the equation, where you're now taking what you've learned and kind of sharing that with them?
That took me about a year and some change to get to that point. Now, don't get me wrong, when it was probably 6 to 8 months later, we started to get like Black as Jack came in the door around that time. Referee Ben Grayson came in at that time. That's when Marcus Cross and Griff Garrison had came in. So yeah, like the ball was really starting to kind of roll right there. And Cozone asked me to run training or to help, but like I didn't know anything. So I was really doing rolls and then letting him doing the bumps. But it was probably about a year and some change in when I finally asked George South, was it okay if I share the knowledge that I have? And he said yes, that I started to actually teach, train, and kind of formed these guys from what they thought a pro wrestler was to what one actually is.
Interesting. So with George South, is that kind of like the Undertaker of the North Carolina scene, where like you kind of almost need his blessing to kind of?
Yeah, I was trying to think of a bigger one than Taker on that one, just because Taker's so confined to
like the Godfather almost, like.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a better one.
The movie sense, not the wrestler sense.
Because on commentary, I deemed him the name the Godfather of Violence. That's what I get. That's the title. But yes, absolutely. When me and Kozone first started and we were going and we were traveling to shows together, we were yin and yang. If you seen him, I'm right behind him, or vice versa, right? Everybody, and I mean everybody, shit on us. Every fucking body. You self-taught, no good motherfuckers, blah, blah, blah. You don't know shit. You're not going to get booked. You're not getting booked here ever again. You need to come to this school and learn from me because I know what I'm talking about. You guys have never been there, yada, yada, yada. So, dude, like I've heard it all. We were, I can't really say blackballed, but that's the best term I can think of. We were blackballed from so many fucking places. And George was the only guy to come up and give us advice. That's it. I could tell you 3 people that came up to us, and it took the other 2 a little while. Yeah. But 3 people that came up to us when all that shit, when we were getting shit on. George was first, Zane Dawson was second, and then C.W. Anderson was third. Those were the only 3 guys that gave a fuck about what I had going on and me trying to learn, because that's all we wanted to do. We just wanted to learn, prove ourselves, and then try to make it in this shit. But everybody at the time sees fucking 2 young ass kids that don't know nothing. We both broke as hell trying to make it, and they shit on us. George South, to me, greatest pro wrestler of all time. Greatest of all time. Yes, you have your Ricky Mortons. Yes, you have your Ric Flairs. Yes, you have your Ricky Steamboats, everything like that. But the level of a run that he has sustained up until this time, look at him now. Like he's in GCW. He's done revamped his fucking career again. He's on top of the world, #highway run. If you don't have his blessing, in my opinion, don't do anything in the state of North Carolina, because it's going to get back to him and he's going to tell you what the truth is, whether you like it or not. But dude, long story short, like I love that man to death. Yeah. Love you, George. I know you'll hear it. Love you.
And if you don't want to share it, it's okay. What was that initial piece of advice he gave you?
I can't cuss because he wouldn't, but he said, don't listen. No. You have as good a right of training people and teaching people as I do. Who am I to tell you you can't do something? Who am I to tell another grown man he can't feed his family and teach people what he knows, whether if it's right or wrong? Because, hey, guys, I don't know if you fucking knew this or not, but there's no right or wrong answer to what a fan does and doesn't like. Okay, shut the hell up. I can't tell you how to make money. I can't tell you how to feed yourself. And he said it just like this, if some goof wants to pay you to learn pro wrestling and you've never been anywhere, that's up to you. That's up to that person. I can't stop that. Go do what you want. He called them core zone back then. He said, go do what you want, core zone. He said, go have fun, go make your money. And that's exactly, you know what I'm saying, what Cozy did. He took off, he took the ball with it, he took that blessing and he ran with it. And till this day, you know what I'm saying, George, we still have George's blessing to the utmost respect. Yeah. He texted me this morning, actually.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, we knew of George South because, like, if you know wrestling in North Carolina, you know George South. But it wasn't until we started doing this podcast that we started to realize the impact that he's had. He comes up, we've done maybe 40 of these. I would say he's come up with at least 30 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should get, he is, this podcast with him could last 3 times as long. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, with him, and just the story. And he could talk about 77 for 3 hours. He doesn't even have to skip to another year, man. He's excellent talker, excellent storyteller. Yeah.
But
please get him. Please.
Yeah, we would love to. I think Zayd was going to try to set it up. He said we might have to have somebody come out there and like set it up for him, but he'd love to do it.
Unless the library unless you can set up a webcam and a microphone in a library, you ain't getting them on a flip phone now. George South still has a flip phone. That is a shoot. He's not getting rid of it. He's very hard to reach, but that's what makes him. That's what makes him. You know what I'm saying? The legend.
Can you confirm that he does most of his business at Bojangles?
This is 100% correct with a scratch-made, Southern-made biscuit that tickles its fancy every single time. And it has to be with a bow-size sweet tea. Not a large sweet tea, a bow-size sweet tea.
That distinction, very important.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that several times.
I mean, honestly, if that should be y'all's fucking pitch right there. Hey, George, we got a bunch of Bojangles for you and some sweet tea. You want to come talk for about 30 minutes? You can eat while you do it too. And he'd be like, "Oh, buddy, I'm on the way."
That'd be so great.
Yeah, but like, I don't think, and I'm sure you agree, but like, North Carolina wouldn't be what it is as far as like a hotbed of wrestling if that man never shared the knowledge that he had.
No, dude, no. He's created more superstars and more people that you watch on television. You know what I'm saying? That we can really count on. Like you got to think about Cedric Alexander, Tessa Blanchard, Darius Lockhart, Zane, Dave Dawson. Like, dude, the list goes completely on. And not even that. It's just what's very cool to me is all these guys that I'm a 95 baby. When I got into wrestling, it was the Ruthless Aggression era, right? So I never got to live the glory years. But when somebody like Ric Flair sits there and tells you on multiple interviews or just tells you in person at WrestleCade or whatever, listen to George South. He knows what the hell he's talking about. That means something. This is a guy that literally everybody labels as the best to ever do it, who's made millions and millions and millions upon dollars and bought multiple houses doing this. Listen to him. All the greats say the same thing. Every last one of them.
And something that I think is so underrated is he's still doing it at such a high level. We saw him work Janela at AML, and I was just like, he's working. It was so good. It was almost it was this cool hybrid of an old school and like modern day match that just really, really worked. And I was just like, look at George. Oh my God. I'm always amazed.
Yes, and that's like, I don't want to skip ahead of you guys if you guys was going to get there or not, but like that's because of his style.
Yeah,
that's because of the way that he wrestles, and I wrestle the exact same. I'm not taking no high shoulder fucking bump on my neck for you to kill me. No, we're going to take a flat back. We're going to talk to these people. We're going to shake a lot of hands, kiss a lot of babies, punch the shit out of each other for a little bit, and then we're going to go on home. Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, folks. It all still works the same, and he proves that day in, day out, and that's why I love him even more for it.
Sure. You mentioned like your style now is that way.
Mm-hmm.
Did that differ when you were first starting out? Like what, like, yes, you were training, but what was that initial like character? What was that initial like goal when you got in the ring?
And if you ever have him on, you can ask him and he'll tell you the exact same thing. That was the first question that Cozone asked me was, where do you see yourself in the business? Right. And then I said, in lights. So like I said, I see my name in lights is where I do. And I see my face where it belongs. And at the time I was thinking of Soldier Field and having my face plastered across that billboard out front. But back then, dude, I was trying to do everything. I was right. Like, I can still do all that too. It's just, I slipped one time during training trying to do a moonsault and I landed incorrectly. And then that was the one time where I was like, nope, not doing that no more. But when I first started I didn't have a character. I didn't. I was a kid that amateur wrestled in North Carolina for a little while. That's a good talker, or I thought back then I was a good talker. And I could do everything Jeff Hardy could do. Literally, that was my thought process. Like, I could throw Ray in here. Like, I can do a tilt twirl. I can do a tornado DDT, like all this other stuff. But, like, being as skinny as I was back then, if I missed a swanton off the top, it hurt for 2 weeks. That one spot in that 15-minute match hurt for 2 weeks. And it got to the point where I was like, fuck this. Like we'll do this when there's a bunch of people there and it's like a prominent position in a card or the match kind of, you know what I'm saying, necessitates it a little bit. But besides that, if I don't have to do that, I'm not going to. Kind of learned that from just getting hurt and being in pain all the time. Yeah. I hope I answered your question. I think I did.
Yeah, you definitely did. Your story is very unique in the fact that you guys were kind of against the world, whereas a lot of people have like a teacher, or they kind of work those shows and stuff. So how are you guys getting booked, and how are you guys like overcoming that adversity that you were fighting just to like get ring time?
You can't deny people that are good. And as much as some promoters want to deny me, I'm pretty fucking good. And we would go out there, and this is not a joke. They'd give us 4 minutes. 4 minutes. We got to do the job to one guy. He's going to beat the shit out of both of them. All right, cool. Just look at each other, sell your ass off. Okay. Go out there, and I would fucking fly, and I would flop, and I would sell, and I'll be right back to it. I'd still be showing fire. I'm not getting any offense. Like, I'm literally jobbing out the entire time, just enhancing these guys. But I did such a good job at getting our ass kicked and making the other guy look like a dime, less than a penny. Then people started to take notice. And God bless guys like Mark James, because he was one of those guys in that CWF locker room that was taking notice. And you know what I mean? These guys are pretty fucking good. We should use them more. You know what I mean? Maybe we're not over yet. Maybe we're not, you know what I'm saying, the best in the room. But we go out here, we get the job done that you ask us to do, and we do it to the best of our ability. And majority of the time, that was pretty well. So pure talent alone is how we started to overcome all that.
Was there a moment where you felt like you finally got that match that you deserved?
With me and him?
Just like in general, like finally I'm on a card. I'm in a position to where I've proved what I could do.
Like where you weren't facing the idea that people were treating y'all different. Like when it finally shifted to.
Oh, yeah. When we finally got a character and a gimmick. Sorry, y'all got me there. But when we finally we were in the back, and I don't know if you guys know who this guy is. I'm pretty sure he's not in the damn business anymore, but his name was Ethan Alexander Sharp. And he was from CWF, and he was a guy there. But he looked at us, and he was like, ha, LeBron co-zone James Ryan. You should be LeBron James. Just like that. I turn around after he says it, Mark James. Now, this is big Mark James. I will fucking kill you and eat you, Mark James. Okay? So I just turned around and he said, dude, that's fucking great. And if y'all don't make a sign for it right now, I'm kicking both of your asses. Yes, sir. James, LeBron. So when we started doing that, it was literally a sign. And if you go back, if you guys want to look him up, John Moses, his stuff's on there from that time period. But it was literally just a sign that said, we are LeBron James. Because LeBron was taking his talents to South Beach at the time. He was making the big jump. You know what I'm saying? They just lost in the finals. So he was a big hot topic. And he was going, that was the year that LeBron faced the Golden State Warriors the first time. And we took that gimmick, and it, for some reason, the people in the CWF Sportatorium, they loved it. It was easily relatable. And dude, from then on, man, kids was wearing any kind of basketball jersey that they had at home just to be with us, you know what I'm saying? And just to kind of feel appreciated and feel like that they was a part of what we had going on. We didn't have a match or anything like that. It was literally in the locker room when Ethan Sharp said that, like, hey, sorry, I'm moving. I was shaking the camera. But he was like, yeah, you guys should be LeBron James. Bingo. Got booked every fucking where. Everywhere. Awesome. Literally. We got 3 sets of jerseys in my closets that we don't even use anymore, bless his heart. But yeah, like it just for some reason it clicked, man. And at the time I had, and I still do to this day, I have that chip on my shoulder. That's why I'm wearing a Firestar shirt now. Like my whole goal at that point in time was to, one, make sure people knew who Kozone was as a person and as a worker. And then also is to take all the slander and bullshit off of his name. I didn't want nobody trash talking us anymore. I didn't want nobody shitting on me because I was a Kozone kid. My whole goal was to go out there, and I want you to watch me work fucking better than your kid does, because my trainer's better than yours. I've never actually, now that I say that, I've never actually said that publicly, but that was my whole fucking purpose. Like, I want to make sure that people know that this dude right here trained me.
Yeah. It's got to make you feel really good when you're seeing the heights that Firestar is reaching, like fucking Leo Rush versus Jay Malachi, like in a packed building and like a final farewell as it's moving up. That's got to be so cool to see that, like, LeBron James is probably LeBron Kozone is probably the go-to name for training if you want to be trained right in the state of North Carolina.
I'll go back further though. Like, I wrestled James Storm in Firestar, had one of my best matches in my career in there. I wrestled Caprice Coleman. That was the, and I'll get back to him later too. But that was a match people realized, like, yo, OMG can fucking talk. And then Cam Carter versus Swerve Strickland when he was in Lucha Underground. Bobby Lashley versus Marcellus King. Shit. You had Trevor Lee versus Cedric Alexander underneath there. Bro, the list of matches back then were just, and even up to this day, they put on some bangers that a lot of people, I feel more people should know about.
Yeah. One of my go-tos to kind of point out to people is LeBron versus Jay Lethal.
Dude. Mwah. Fucking chef's kiss of professional wrestling, brother.
For sure.
And go ahead. Sorry.
I don't even know what I was going to say. I'll let you go.
Dude, like, I just, don't get me wrong, like, me and him both suck at social media. Like, I'll admit that. So a lot of people don't know it, but dude, I don't know how people feel about him or anything, but Cozy's damn near the Black Benoit. Almost. Like, not even joking. You won't find me, except for Joe Black. You won't find me another more aggressive, more tenacity, more like every movement has a fucking purpose, and you won't find a larger gas tank than Kozone.
Yeah.
This dude spends like 7 days a week inside the ring wrestling 2 to 4 hours a day. He's probably in the greatest shape of his career right now. He's just, I'm not trying to keep harping on him, but I love the guy. More people need to fucking know about him. But he's legit one of the greatest around. And I was so happy for him that he got that spotlight and that showing with Jay Lethal, because I'm like, dude, like, a lot of people in higher up positions need to know who the hell you are. They need to see you as a prize commodity, because you're $1 million talent that hadn't been discovered yet.
Yeah. I think that's like recently with him, like with DPW, it's been so cool to see him having some of the matches he's having. Like Adam Brooks, like that match, they fucking tore the house down. Like they're giving him opportunities to fight people that are like, it's really awesome to see.
It's also, you know what I'm saying, half of DPW's roster, the man trained.
Yeah.
So you better give him the spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we could talk about George South, LeBron Kozone all day. There's been some podcasts where it's gotten close to that, but at what point are you kind of venturing out on your own, like apart from Kozone, to like OMG James Ryan, the character that we know today?
I forgot what year. I think it was 2017. Truth be told, I think it's 2017. White Mike is starting to come train with us. A lot of people don't know he trained under Firestar. Later on, Chance Riser as well. So really, when those guys started to come into the picture, especially Chance, that's my brother, but when Chance started to come into the picture, that's when I started like, all right, we might need to venture out. But my first out-of-state booking was with Timmy Lou Retton. At the time, you were Timmy Lou Retton, Tim. So don't get fucking mad at me. You know I love you. It was me, Tim, Ronnie Nicole, and Dave Dawson. And we went to PWF, 3.5 hours away. I don't know the damn city. I'm sorry, guys. I'm up there almost every month. I apologize. But we went to PWF. And then from PWF, we went to Georgia. And then from Georgia, we went back to Raleigh. And I remember getting in that car. I was just like, because I'm a nervous, like depressed kid. And you know what I'm saying? And I ain't never been out of the state, like ever. Like the farthest I've ever been in North Carolina was New Bern and Snow Hill. And that's because I had family up there, you know? And so after that, I was just like, dude, we need to go different places because there's different styles of wrestling in different areas and different places. And also like, we need to spread our roots a little bit more. And Dave and Tim and them, they really embedded that in my mind. Like, hey man, get in the car, go learn from these different veterans, go learn and wrestle in front of different crowds. Just hone your craft the best way that you can, but that's going to happen from reps, and it's not always going to be in North Carolina.
Yeah. So what were some of those first matches that you were having, like on your own, or any of them that kind of stick out to you as important?
I've been hitting the head a lot, guys, so you got to give me time to think. Unfortunately, no.
That's okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, no. I just remember like a lot early on was just a lot of battle royals, a lot of multi-man matches, a lot of the promoter coming up to you, hey brother, got you gas money and some food money when you get done, come see me, and then they're nowhere to be fucking found. Yeah. Like, I didn't make a single dollar, not 1 cent for like 2 years doing this. And then like my first payout was in like Yanceyville for like $20, and I thought I was on top of the world. But yeah, no, it wasn't until like me, Chance, Tim, and White Mike really started getting on the road where stuff really started, I guess, clicking. And that was what, 2018, 2019, something like that.
Okay. So 2018, 2019, kind of right before COVID,
yep.
You were kind of finding your groove.
Oh, buddy, was I? Sorry, keep going.
Okay. We just had like a podcast with everybody from Ace, like the Good Squad and Super Jaw. We kind of talked about that early kind of Ace 2019, where you kind of were at the forefront of that. Walk us through like what does your stride look like at that time, and then how do you adapt to like COVID hitting?
So, wow, yeah, I literally cut a bomb ass promo at the last Ace show talking about this too. But right there, I was, in my opinion, like right then, I was on top of the world to me. I was one of the hottest in the region, if not this side of everything going on. But I had 3, you know what I'm saying, top, how can I say it? I don't want to say major level belts because we're still in the indies, but I had 3 top championships in 3 different companies spanning across 3 different states. And I was about to have my 4th, 5th, and 6th at this time. A lot of y'all shit on me backstage about how I don't do a whole lot, but let this tickle your fucking fancy. Thursday through Sunday, I was on the road. Mondays and Tuesdays, we was cutting promos for the week going up to the road. Wednesday was the only fucking day that we had to relax and be home, and I didn't have to see those 3 guys at all, right? So we literally had Wednesday, but Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it was, let's see, we'd go to Dayton, Ohio Thursday, Jeffersonville, Indiana on Friday, back to Dayton on Saturday, And then Sunday we would probably be in like Beckley, West Virginia. And then we're coming home Sunday so I can go to work, hopefully Monday morning. But we were as hard as we could go. That's what we were doing. And me and Chance at the time were starting to tag pretty heavy. And everywhere that I was going, it was clicking. I don't really know like how else other to say it. Like, I don't want to say I was over anything, but everything was clicking and it was working and people were liking what we were putting down. And Ace comes up. I wasn't even supposed to be on the show. James Hunter put me over to Superjaw. And he said, look, dude, like you use this kid, he's going to be the face of your company in 5 years. 5 years, I'm the face of the damn company. Yeah. So right then and there, dude, I can't. It makes me so mad, bro, because I was in such a stride. I was on such just barn burners. Like I'm getting match after match after match after match. Like one weekend, it was like Mike Timmy Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was Pillman Jr. and Trey Miguel. Like, so we were just getting barn burner after barn burner, and I was just proving myself. And like I said, it was Thursday through Sunday of every single week. We were spending probably 16 to 20 hours in a car a day and just trying to do the best that we could to make it. And when COVID hit, I remember I sat all the belts on the table. My 3 that I had, I sat them on the table, and I just looked at my girl and I was like, Leah, you know, these are about to go. So my cocky ass is about to walk by them every day and just look at them. And you know what I'm saying? Just be like, yep, you're still the champ. You're still the champ today. You ain't defended in a month and a half, but you're still the champ. And then one by one, that WrestleMania weekend, each belt had to go back to each damn state. It was $52 to send a damn belt to $52 to send a belt from here to Dayton, Ohio. And then it was like $82 from here to Beckley, West Virginia. Like, and I was having to pay for the shit because the promoters at the time told me that they were, and then they didn't. So, yeah. But one by one, everything literally dropped off. And Ace at the time was drawing like 400-500 fucking people in Rayford, like in a big ass high school gym, and everybody's singing "Pour Some Sugar on Me." Everything's going great. I'm like, yes. Wrestling Dave Dawson, wrestling Zane Dawson. Now I'm about to beat their ass with King Shane Williams, who was on top of the world at AML at the time. Yeah. And everything was just going in the right direction to make me a top level guy and to have the fans look at me in that way as well. And COVID hit and it just shot it all down the damn toilet. And then we just had to literally start from scratch. So
how do you adjust? I'm sure it's not easy, like there's probably not a good answer for it, but how do you adjust from being on the road 4 days in a row to just not being able to do anything?
Well, unfortunately, like a lot of the times with my job and with how shitty it was, sometimes it was stop and go. You know what I'm saying? So it'd be 3 weeks on, 1 week off type thing. But it sucked. Like it sucked. Like I said, at the time I was living in my parents' house. So like here you are doing your dream at this point. This has become my dream. This is my reality now, right? This isn't something that I just thought of. Like I'm putting a lot of time, effort, and energy into making this passion and a dream my reality. And you know what I'm saying? Waking up finally, and then it just stops. And your body's kind of weird, right? Like if you work 9 to 5 and you work like a high level physical job, like you're just maneuvering a lot, you're picking things up, you're picking it down. Like when you do that for so long, and by 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, your body's telling you got to go. Like there's something you're supposed to be doing right now. You're not supposed to be sitting down. And it was the same thing for me, but at midnight or at 10. You know what I mean? When I'm trying to go to sleep, my body's like, hell no, wake up. Time to get up. We got to go wrestle. Your music's about to hit. Or I'd literally be sitting there taking a nap and I would spring up like thinking that my music's fucking playing because I'm having a dream that I'm wrestling. I look down, I'm naked. There ain't no boots on. There ain't no ring around. I'm sitting in my bedroom, and I'm like, okay, it was just a dream. Like, let's calm it down. And after a while, I got used to it. Like at the time, I was doing landscaping, and when I was doing landscaping, that's all I really think about throughout the day was wrestling. But it was it sucked, man. It makes you depressed. You can't create. Your brain can't function the way that it's built to. You know what I mean? You have to train your mind and your brain to get into kind of this emotional realm and physical state that you have to be in when you're wrestling. Like that shit's a lot on us emotionally, and I don't think people realize that. But to look across the ring and to suspend disbelief through facial expressions and anger, you really have to draw something deep from within you to be able to pull that off here. And when you're not doing that no more, your release is essentially gone. And you can go to the gym and lift as heavy as weights as you want to. You can go smoke whatever weed you want, drink however much. There's no drug stronger than walking out that curtain and hearing the adulation from the fans. There's nothing that beats it. When you have hundreds of people screaming your name off of something you thought of and you manipulated, you created, there's no drug on earth that can give you that feeling. And to not have it, brother, I went into a damn depression. So bad. And it took me forever to get out of it, but we did. And like everything else, you just power through and you move on and you try to create in different avenues. That's when me and White Mike were shooting on each other via promos every week on Facebook, or I was cutting promos with students at the school because I'm like, hey guys, we're not able to do this every weekend. So we need to keep this tool or this knife sharp in our back pocket here. We need to practice this. So I used to throw up, you know what I'm saying, Head and Shoulders and whatever other shampoo brand, tell me why it's better. And just try to just find different ways to create and just to get your mind rolling the best way that you can.
Yeah. It's very unique because a lot of people don't realize like wrestling was hit really hard. Like you look at the big companies, they were definitely hit hard, but like it hit harder like the local, the independents, where guys like you were hitting your stride and now it's gone.
Yeah, like I was legitly at a point where I could kind of like, hey, work. I don't need all of these hours. I don't need to work 65 hours for you anymore. Yeah. I can really work like 27 and bust that out in like 3 days. And then I can go make the rest of my rent and the rest of my bill money from wrestling. And soon as I hit that stride, it all cut. And then now I'm, you know what I'm saying, back to the 9 to 5 grind every fucking day.
Yeah. When does it start to open back up, and like how is it stepping back into the ring for the first time after such a long break?
I cried. That's number one. Like when my music hit, I was already crying, and then when the 1, 2, 3 happened, I cried even harder. It was crazy. Like, don't get me wrong, like Firestar was still doing like Zone 1 stuff because that really didn't necessarily need a crowd. We were doing that for YouTube and for another audience. But to like actually get fans and everything back into the arenas and having them come back and hearing people make noise, it's so crazy. Like, guys, wrestling hurts. I don't know if you guys know that, but it hurts a lot. Yeah. And it hurts even more with zero adrenaline. So like, we feed off the energy of you guys. If you guys give it, we get that adrenaline, or give it to us, we get that adrenaline spike. So when you don't have that and you're just going out there and your body's cold and the ring is cold and the building's cold and you're trying to wrestle, like that shit hurt twice as much as it did before. And then finally, when fans got back, it kind of just put the pie together. And, you know what I'm saying? Now, of course, we're back to normal, but even with 5 to 10 fans, it felt like 100.
Do you feel like you have a greater appreciation for it?
Yes. I have a greater appreciation for things like what we're doing now. I have a greater appreciation for talking to people, for finding out who that person is. Like, there's a lot of people in wrestling that we know, but they only know OMG. Yeah. They don't know James Godet. You know what I'm saying? They don't know me. They don't know the person. And it gave us time to like, man, who the fuck are you? Who are you? Really? what makes you tick?
Yeah.
It gave us a better appreciation for communication and as a whole from one another, because it got stripped away from us.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that people realize, like, I guess we kind of do. Like, I feel like COVID just kind of went away, but like, there's definitely like things that, like, I worked from home for 2 years, and I just recently started a job where I'm around people, and like, just to be able to like talk to people, like, I already know my coworkers of 2 months better than I did of my coworkers for 2 years. Like, because
Yeah, that's crazy.
it's but yeah. So we're kind of in that zone for, let's say, like 2021 to today. So what has it been like for you? What is your journey from that point to today?
So there was a point in time where and I'm not going to bring him up, but there was a certain point in time that there was a certain jackass that was going around and he was shitting on my name. And at the time, he had a really good name. And it was hard. Nobody wanted to fuck with me. Nobody wanted to book me. And I pretty much, you know what I'm saying, had to, like I said, start from scratch and rebuild and regain from that point. But man, I just went to the school and we just busted our ass and we trained and we trained and we trained. And then I had a kid. So then that happened. My beautiful blessing of Grayson. We were told for 8 years that we weren't going to be able to have children or bear children, if you will. And then when we have a kid, that changed everything completely. And it gave me a whole new lease and a whole new purpose on life and what my career actually means. Because previously, before that, if I fucked up a match or if I messed up a promo and it sounded stupid, we're good. We'll get them next time. Now that changes. Now I have a kid I got to feed. Now, if I really want to take time that I'm sacrificing from him to come do this, that's not paying me very well for one thing. And then number two, like, I'm not on a major level, then we need to do this the best that we can. So, dude, soon as we got the green light to start coming back till now, I have busted my ass twice as hard, if not 3 times as hard that I did previously before that. Working as many matches as I can, as many shows as I could. I'm in the absolute best shape of my life, and I have to be because I got one of the best wrestlers in the world that I'm about to be facing here in a month and a half. And just greener pastures, man. Just things, so many things have opened up from me now. Like, I'm doing commentary for AML on the main roster. I'm their main play-by-play guy. And as a young kid, they used to put the shows on mute so I could commentate Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart for the 100th time at WrestleMania 12 to be doing it now. Dude, I'm so prideful about it, and I love it. And the fact that I'm doing this that I love, that's breaking generational curses, meaning that my family can see different avenues of making money rather than struggling paycheck to paycheck 9 to 5. I get to show my kid the same thing. Like, dude, you can shoot for your fucking dreams, whether people think that it's stupid or not. The sky's the limit for me from that point to now. Like, I think the sky's, well, it's not even the skies. Like, we're sitting on top of the stars, so we got to find whatever galaxy's next or after that. But
yeah,
it's all up from here, brother. Seriously. If you can hear my dog, I'm sorry.
Oh, my dog's been barking too. I don't know if you've heard, but you talked about that match you have in a month and a half. Are you able to share who that's with?
Yes. So September 9th, 4421 North Cherry Street for Ace Wrestling. I will be facing Jay Malachi
of course,
for the Ace Openweight Championship.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited. This is a kid that I literally helped train to who he is today. And I've been helping him in his life this way since he was 13 years old. He was a baby when we met. Yeah. And now he's done turned into a little over-conceited jackass that hasn't had his ass whooped yet. So we're going to have to change that come September 9th. I don't want to get pissed off here, but I mean, yeah.
If you want to, be a good clip.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, no, I don't know. But it means so much. Number one, like I said, in my opinion, the young OG Jay Malachi is top 20, if not top 30 in the world. and I will put every dollar that I've ever made on it. And the fact that I'm getting in the ring with him, I've known him since 13. We've never locked up once. We've never had a training match. We've never had a multi-man match. We've never been in a battle royal together. We have literally never physically touched except for a hug. And now that we're about to do this when he's 19, I'm 28, and we're both in the prime and at the top in the best shapes of our career. I'm so fucking excited just to whoop his ass for however long it takes me. It's going to be very, very enjoyable. It is.
That's awesome. Yeah. That is crazy to think of. You guys have never even been in the same ring together.
Never, dude. And we've tried to, and Cozone, you know this, we've tried to make that happen a bunch, and you said no. You said no. So now Ace gets the first shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's literally the first time ever that we've ever touched it.
That's awesome. Definitely something you want to check out.
Please.
And then I guess so. We're caught up to where you are now. You talked about your son and how that's changed things. Has that changed your perspective of what you want to do in this business?
Perspective, what I want to do is in what, like how far do I want to go? Or
like obviously it changes why you're doing it, but has it changed your goals overall?
Yeah, it makes you look higher. It makes you look higher. And if it doesn't, then you need to look yourself in the mirror. This is no disrespect to anybody, and I'm going to try to do my best to look down the fucking barrel when I say this. But if you're not in this business to be the world champ or the top level of a company, get the fuck out so the other people that want to be can. Too many people, I feel, take spots for trying to be hometown fans, and they want to do what they love, but they don't go anywhere with it. So they're untrained, they're untalented, and they take so many different spots from other people. It just makes me look higher. It makes me think smarter. It makes me realize that respectfully and the love for the business, it's hard for me to talk about it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. You got to think about more of what you do in there. If what you're doing isn't paying the bills, then you need to fix it. You need to fix it. And if you're not going to fix it, then you're going to stay stagnant and you're just going to plateau the whole damn time. And you're just going to start rolling downhill.
Yeah.
It makes me want to work harder to be the man that in every company. I've always thought that I could be. I've just never gotten this opportunity. That's why I'm taking this spot with Ace the best that I can, because if I come out as victorious on September 9th, then I'm going to make the championship. The championship is not going to make me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make it a draw. And that's my goal every single time, is that when I walk through the door, I want people to know that I'm here to make money, but I'm also here to make the company money. Let's draw. Let's put some asses in seats. That's what this is all about. Everybody, I feel, sits upon their contracts, or they sit upon that rate that you get from the promoter, and then they don't do anything with it. No, every second of every minute counts for me now that he's been born, because I don't want him looking back at this and then seeing a lackluster, lazy daddy. I don't. He wasted his time in tights, didn't fucking go nowhere. No, I want him to see one of the best talkers and one of the best workers that North Carolina has ever seen, that went on to be one of the greatest of all fucking time, if that's possible. So in perspective, that it makes you work so much harder, man. It's not all about you anymore. It's not all about me anymore. It's about him. It's about what he has. It's about how is he going to eat? You know what I mean? Like, how is he's not going to feed himself. And I didn't have, my real pops did what he did. You know what I'm saying? And my stepdad came in when I was 3. So he's been my father ever since. And I love my dad to death, and he knows this, but I never want my kid looking at me the same way that I look at my real father at all. So it just burns and puts that into my damn brain, and it puts a fire to my ass that nobody's going to put out at all. Y'all thought I was a good fucking talker. Y'all thought that OMG was good, but brother, a focused and a motivated OMG is a very, very dangerous one. You saw one going through the motions. Now you see one with motivation. Now you see one with optimism, with purpose, with joy in what he's doing. You're looking at Mufasa with his mane back, fellas. Gives you, that's all off the top of my fucking head, too. Clip it.
That's a great
Clip
line.
it. But, dude, like, I can't. It just makes me think back sometimes, too, and I don't want it to, like, harp on my kid this whole time because I keep that really, really, like, to me and personal. But it just makes me think, like, why the fuck did you want to kill yourself a couple years back? Life is so precious and love to live for if you just live it the way you want to. Don't go work 10, 12 hours at a job and not come home and do something for yourself. You're going to become an ant, a part of their farm, and that's what they want. Don't do that. Create a different avenue and a different way of life for yourself, and I promise you're going to be able to enjoy life and love it way more. Way, way more.
Well said, for sure.
I've enjoyed the fuck out of this, guys. This has been so fun.
Yeah, I was literally about to say the same thing. We kind of try to wrap things up looking at the future. So for you over the next year, who are some people that you want to be in the ring with? And then within 5 years, who would you like to have said that you've been in the ring with?
Okay, so who do I want to be in the ring with in the future? And 5 years from now, who do I want to say that I was in the ring with?
Yeah, so I guess like this year.
AJ, listen to me. Phenomenal one, sir. Mr. Alan Jones, sir. I need 5 minutes. You can whoop my ass. Phenomenal forearm styles clash, all you want to, brother. Look, 5 years from now, I want to be able to look at my kid and be like, Daddy wrestled his favorite wrestler of all time. That's number one. I cannot tell you the love and adulation that I have for you, brother. Also, Dax Harwood. Dax. When we did the seminar, I couldn't help but like fight back and hold tears. Like when I was talking, see, I'm about to fucking do it now. He doesn't know what he did for me in my life. He doesn't have a clue. I had a chance to tell him, but I didn't, just because like I kind of look at him the same way I would like my uncle or like a higher, like proud figure of my family. Like he's a strong Southern man that carries those Southern values that I hold strong. So like my pawpaw seeing me cry like this, he'd be like, dry that shit up, boy. You know what I mean? So I never wanted to do that. And at a seminar, I had the opportunity to, but I was fighting the tears back so bad. I would love to get in the ring with Dax. I really think we could do a lot of good business, promo wise and inside the ring. Other than that, that's probably it, because everybody else, and if anybody listens to this and you want to work OMG, you need to be able to talk. So if you want to talk and you want to cut promos, you want to promote the show, you want to draw asses into the seats, let's do business. But if not, I'm not going to waste my bump card on you because we're not going anywhere with it. Nobody looks good. Nobody gets over. No point in doing it. But Dax and AJ, man, for sure. God almighty. Like, because I think back, man, like Caprice Coleman, that's my rock. When everybody talks about their promo guy and they talk about Dwayne and everything, like to me, that's Caprice Coleman. He doesn't know that, but the reason I can come off the top of my head with I got the vocal vibrations that'll move the whole nations, make them rise up like I'm preaching to the congregation. Like I can come up with stuff like that because I watched Caprice. And when I first started, like that was that's my guy. That's my man right there. And done that. AR Fox, that's my black RVD. And I told him that. That's my indie RVD. And I got to wrestle him. James Storm, he was a part of my favorite tag team of all time in Beer Money. Got to wrestle him. Got to be in the ring with Ricky Morton. I got to wrestle George South multiple times. Dude, like my list is it's pretty stacked and it's deep, and I've crossed almost all of them off except for the two that I just told you. Yeah. Dax and AJ. So both of them, both is who I want to work in the future, and both 5 years from now, I want to be able to say that I did work them.
Okay. That's very well put. Yeah, you've had some pretty awesome pretty awesome matches. I have one more question. Christian has a question. This is a question we asked everybody on every podcast, but who are some people out there wrestling anywhere, it doesn't have to be North Carolina, that you think more people should know about?
I would say Jay Malachi, but nephew, you blowing up on Twitter right now, so I don't even need to say that. LeBron Cozone, that's number one. Chance Riser, number two. And Zane and Dave Dawson. That's my list. I know that's all Carolina boys, but Zane and Dave, they're the fucking best tag team on the planet besides FTR. Like, you can't find footwork from two bigger men that's crisper than that. Maybe Big Boss Man back in the day, but that's probably it. Chance Riser is so fundamentally sound in the ring. He doesn't waste movement. His basics and his fundamentals inside that ring are crisp and they're perfect. His facial expressions look great. What else can I say about my brother? Let's see. He looks good too. Like, Chance, when I met you, you know what I'm saying? He was kind of chunky, finding yourself. Now you look good and you're damn chiseled little god. Go ahead, well. And then who else I say? LeBron?
Yeah.
Yeah, from the dude that literally saved my life. He looked me in my eye my third. I don't know why I kept, but on my third day of training, he looked me in my eye. He said, if I ever find that you're taking pills again, I'm gonna whip your ass, and then you never can wrestle again, and I'll make sure that you can. And back then, I damn sure believed him, and he saved my life. And he, you know what I'm saying? He allowed me. I didn't pay a dime, guys. Not a dime. Cozone didn't ask me for no money. He was paying for my gym membership. He was buying my food. We were going to training, and we were going to these shows, and he was taking me everywhere that he could. And he didn't ask me for a dime. All he asked me for was hard work and good effort, right? And to me, I think that dude deserves the world. Like, look at Griff Garrison and Marcus Cross right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're two of our guys that went on to sign huge contracts. He's proven it. Every kid that comes through that school is on fucking Dark, Elevation, Collision, Dynamite, whatever, SmackDown, Raw. They're all over the damn place, whether it be female or male, doesn't matter. And he's in my opinion, one of the best workers in the world as well. And he needs people to know that. If you just get on social media a little bit more, Bob, they would. But even if he doesn't, just go to a show that he's booked at, and you're going to look at a really talented fucking wrestler that can cut a realistic promo. And when he's in the ring, you might not believe what we're doing is real, but he's going to make sure you believe that he is.
Yeah.
And that's what the fuck that this is about. You can know whatever goes on. You could talk about how you read this on the dirt sheet, but if we still suspend your disbelief, we did our job correctly. And he does that every single time.
Yeah.
Chance Riser, LeBron Cozone, Zane, Dave Dawson.
It's a pretty good Mount Rushmore. Yeah.
So what does that cheat meal look like?
What does my cheat meal look like?
Yeah.
Well, here's the beautiful part. Like, right now, when I weighed in this morning, I was 198.9. So my metabolism is really high. I don't meal prep healthy at all. So if I meal prep, the healthiest thing on the plate is probably broccoli, and that's because I enjoy the taste of it. Dude, I'm making hot sauce barbecue chicken, which is literally like my barbecue grilled chicken that I got a nice little barbecue recipe, and I make that, slather in hot sauce with some rice, peppers, and onions with some broccoli, eat like that. But if I want to be like really, and I'm talking about just really fat, like drunk, let's see, a 2 a.m. Texas bacon patty melt from Waffle House. Yeah. Double hash brown, smothered and covered and chunked. Give me a large thing of bacon with a coffee, orange juice, and a water, please. That's like my happy, like, let's go home, take a nap. Like,
yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I wish I could get fucking bigger, dude. I swear I wish I could. People shit on me about that. You're a string bean, you're this, you're that. Dude, I'm 28 and my metabolism is still high. Anybody that's watching this, a doctor literally looked at me and said, naturally, it's not going to happen. So, yeah.
You've got a doctor.
Yeah, I'm not shooting. Oh, my God. Yeah. Fucking perfect. I'm fucking using that in the ring next time, I swear to you. Oh, my God, that just made me cry. Dude. I got a doctor's note for being skinny.
So, I hope this could go down as the podcast that made you cry in two different ways. So not a lot of wrestling podcasts have
that wide range of emotion.
Not only
dude, like I said, I'm just depressed, and I have been for so long that this is the way that I cope with it. I talk a lot of shit. I cuss a lot, and I tell you exactly how I feel. Like I wear, which is my next tattoo, bless you, but it's my heart on my sleeve. I stopped hiding all that a long time ago. The more you hide that, the more you bottle it in, the more it hurts. Let it out. There's so many more people like us.
Yeah, 100%. This has been great. I feel like we could probably talk to you for a lot longer, but
I would love to do it again.
Yeah,
if we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whenever. I don't know why people requested me, but whoever did, thank you guys so much. Yeah, and thank you guys for allowing me to voice myself on your platform, man. I really do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's been an
really
absolute delight.
it hit me halfway through that this felt like an interview that needed to happen. Like it's just one of those. To me, it's one of those stories that needs to be told, and I mean, so I really appreciate you taking the time to do it.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Not a lot of. I don't talk a lot about the story. I hold a lot of that stuff really near, dear, close to my heart. But being able to speak about it and being able to tell my story and how it started and where we come from, yeah, man, I really do. Yeah, I appreciate the hell out of you guys. This is only my second or third podcast ever in 8 years. Wow. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I hope we're top 2.
At the moment, you'd be number 1.
Okay.
Oh, that's what we like to hear. You have to listen to Live, Laugh, Lariat.
So we've had a pretty good week. Rob Killjoy said that he would put us in his MySpace top 8 on the last interview. So
fucking Killjoy. God damn. That's so good. I put y'all in my MySpace top 8 right next to Tom.
Awesome.
Right next to Tom.
Yeah, I think that's a great bit.
But thank you so much for making the time to talk with us. It's been real fun.
Oh, man, thank y'all. Thank y'all so much.